Welcome to the Messy Mary. I'm your host, Kirsten, from themessymary.org. Today's scripture comes from Psalms 139:1 in the Message translation. God, investigate my life. Get all the facts firsthand. I'm an open book to you. Even from a distance, you know what I'm thinking. This morning I was listening to a sermon. As the pastor was preaching, my mind started to wander. And this is where my mind took me. Back in high school, I had a party while my parents were out of town. First of all, we weren't supposed to be there. Second of all, you don't throw parties when your parents are out of town. Just letting you know. At least that's the parental idea. Anyways, I threw this party and everybody got into the Jim Beam liquor. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I can't go buy another bottle. So all I had left was this bottle with this little tiny amount down at the bottom. The next day, after cleaning everything up, I spent hours, and I mean hour upon hour, mixing food color to get the perfect shade of brown with just a touch of honey color to match what little of the Jim Beam was left in the bottle. I finally got the color spot on. I was so excited. And then I filled the rest of the bottle up with this perfectly matched food coloring and water. And now the test was going to be when my mom had a drink, would she notice? So fast forward to a couple days later, my parents got home for wherever they had been. I'm not sure where they had been. And then I just was like, okay, I'm going to have to wait till my mom finally has a drink. And fast forward to that day when she finally had a drink. And she drank it and didn't say anything. I sat there watching her, waiting for her to go, oh, this is not Jim Beam, but not a word. Then somewhere down the road, a couple weeks later, she said one night, this Jim Beam just doesn't taste right. Well, I'm sitting there trying not to laugh. But I kept a straight face, and she went on to say, there's something wrong with it. I'm not sure what it is, but it's just not right. Back to the pastor. So the pastor's preaching, my mind's wandering, and I'm thinking about that time in the past when suddenly I had an epiphany that I had spent a majority of my life faking and trying to make myself look like something I wasn't. And that's never what God intended for my life. He did not want me to fake it till I make it. He doesn't want that for any of us. But I think oftentimes we try to be what other people want us to be, and we try to fit in the world where we don't really fit in. And guess what? We aren't supposed to fit in, because as Christians, we're supposed to be set apart. But like I said, I wasted a majority of my life trying to fit in. Time and time again, I tried to look like something I wasn't. I tried to make my life look like I thought it was supposed to look like, so that nobody know that I was phony, that I was a fake, that they would think I was the, quote, normal person, whatever that meant. I'm not even really sure I knew what I was supposed to be. I just knew without a doubt that I was not supposed to be the person that I was. That's all I knew. I desperately kept trying to be something different until I found Jesus. And then he completely rearranged my thoughts about this. And he helped me realize I did not need to make myself look like something I wasn't. He just wanted to know me. The me he created me to be, the one that he called me to be. I could be myself with him, warts and all, because when Jesus is in our lives, we become the true person we're supposed to be. I would never have been able to be who he created me to be as long as I wasn't in relationship with him. And going back to the food coloring analogy, I can try mixing all the different colors of food coloring that I want, but I was never going to be the me I am today, a daughter of the King, without Jesus. He was the ingredient that I needed. Anything else is a fake imitation that won't taste quite right. Something will feel wrong because it will be a lie. It won't be the real me. And it won't be the real you without Jesus either. Today, let's thank Jesus that we don't have to be fake with him. We don't have to make ourselves fit in with him because he's the perfect fit for each of us. No food coloring required. For this week's Step of Faith, let's be on the lookout for any time we feel like we don't fit in or there is something wrong with us. Remember that Jesus didn't create us to fit into the world. He created us to fit perfectly with him in his world. Until next time, with Jesus' help, let's be less messy and choose what's better. Have a blessed day.